All right. So I made this deck, I don't know, maybe a few days, a week ago. But I never actually played any games with it. It's maybe kind of a meme, but I did want to give it a shot. So we're going to play it in a quick match. Let's do card view. So this is Affinity, Persist, Neoform, Pile. I don't think the Neoform stuff is particularly new. People tried it before. Maybe without Mox Opal, of course. But yeah, this deck is wild. We've got Faithless Looting, previously banned. Mox Opal, previously banned. And Frogmere Enforcer, one of the new Modern Horizons. 3 cards. And then we've got an Overlord of the Balmerk, which is a 5 we can tutor off of sacking the Frogmere to Neoform. And then just pick up the Frogmere again. So if your affinity count's large enough, the Neoform's kind of free because you can upgrade your 2/2 to a 4/4. Just recast it. Yeah, also it's like a pretty reasonable card. You could play it for 2 mana. You could just pick up like a Thought Monitor or whatever. And then we've got 2 Archons and 1 Craterhoof to be able to get with Neoform, as well as all of these cards can be brought back with Persist. So to discard, we've got 1 Cookbook that we can tutor off Urza Saga. This is a 61st card. I just decided I'm going to play 61. I just want to try all these cards. And then, of course, Blood Fountain. So you've got a lot of discard outlets, maybe more than you actually need. Like, it's possible you don't need these Faithless Lootings. But with Mox Opal and Springleaf Drum, you have a lot of colored sources that are 5-color. So I decided I would just sort of play all the colors. We have a portable hole in the sideboard. But we've got Mana Confluence, Glimmer Void, and Spire of Industry to hopefully give us the colors we want when we need them. And yeah, that's it. So this deck's sweet. I want to give it a try. It might be a colossal meme, but some of it makes sense. I think the biggest problem is trying to get your artifact count high enough while having like these cards in your hand, because these aren't artifacts. So I'm hoping that Blood Fountain can sort of carry as 2 artifacts for 1 mana. And then Persist can become Thought Monitor, or obviously the Neoform doesn't really matter because this is just sort of like another Affinity style payoff where, Thought Monitor isn't one of your cheap artifacts, it's a payoff. Neoform's kind of a payoff too. So we're going to give it a go. We've got 4 Urza Sagas. It's possible the right number's 3. You could have an extra one on the board for when people have whatever hate pieces, counterspell, stuff like that. Sideboard, we got some Whip Flares, Damping Spheres, Overvar, an Ingot Chewer that we can get as a 5 if we want to tutor it with Neoform. Just a Bauble in case you're worried about getting your Neoformed Force Negation or whatever, Solitude type stuff. And then just obvious one of artifacts. A Thoughtseize, a Consign, and a Portable Hole, just as sort of different things to try. So this is the Affinity Neoform deck. We're going to give it a try in a quick match. We've still got the All Access account running, so may as well make some more use out of it. And I'll see you guys in the match. Alright, we are going first. Sounds pretty bad, right? Doesn't do anything. What a hand. Wow. Huh. I'm going to try this. If my opponent's a slow deck, this might work out. This is really funny, though. I've never seen a hand like this. If we hit a 0-mana artifact, or like a creature, whatever. Ideally, we just hit a 0-mana artifact and we could activate this on turn 2, and we could just keep activating Urza Sagas. But this is a very funny hand. I guess. So what all can we get? Just this stuff. Alright, here we go. So yeah, I mean, this hand doesn't have like the highest upside, but I think we're sort of coin flipping for a matchup where maybe our opponent's playing a slow deck. And we can just beat them up with Urza Sagas. It is sort of awkward to have all of our lands be Urza Sagas, right? Because we're not going to get to use most of them. A lot of these are just going to convert into artifacts. But whatever. No Mishra's Baubles. That was a card I was thinking about playing, but I just decided to max out the 0 creatures. Glistener Elf. Oh no. Alright, well, this is not the matchup I was looking for. Okay, there's an artifact. We don't have red mana. Can't do anything. Just pass. And then next turn we can float a mana, get like an Ornithopter, activate Saga, play a new Saga, and then play this off the red mana potentially. So we'll have a big blocker at least. We might just be dead here. We might be dead on turn 2. But we will see. They didn't play another land, which means they need like a bunch of mutagenic growths. If they played the plus or make your thing a 6/4, they could have double mutagenic. But living through this turn is probably a pretty big deal for me. Opponent disconnected? No? What's going on here? Okay, so we groundswell. It's what, +4/+4? Or no, they don't have landfall. Alright, so they're just chunking me for 3. That's not particularly scary. Alright. Okay, so let's go add mana. Get our Ornithopter, I think. So Cookbook gives me a lot of mana. For Affinity, potentially. Gives me 2 now and 1 extra per turn. But it doesn't let me cast anything, right? So I could get the boots, and then I don't want to haste anything. I think I just get Ornithopter. Okay. Cast. So count is 3. It'll be 4 with this. And I guess I'm just playing Frogmere. So 4, 5, and then 2. So we got a big blocker. Opponent only has 1 land. And then next turn we could get boots and maybe pressure them. Let me make sure so it's 5, yeah. Alright. So we draw Neoform. The second drum. So depending on what I draw, I guess I get to draw first, right? Before I pick, I think. It's not like it's upkeep. Yeah, it's just Saga. Okay. So if I draw Neoform, I can get a drum, and then I can make this like a Crater Hoof or whatever. Or an Archon. I probably can't beat an Archon either. But I assume I'm just blocking it. I guess I'm going to block with the Construct. Seems fine. Not particularly attached to it, and it has a lot of stats. Oh no, did we die? So they could have another groundswell. It makes it 8. So I guess I'll... So if I just block with 5/5, they could have mutagenic. But if they have a groundswell, it's worse for me. So how many artifacts we're going to have? We'll have 3 and then 4 and 3 mana. I guess I'll force them to have a +4. If they lose the Glistener Elf, we probably just win the game. You can't Seiju me. Yeah, okay, that sucks. Whatever. Okay. I got dice. We got 3 cards left. I've got 7 poison left to take. Opponent is very slow. It's fine. There's a lot of people that are like new to Magic Online, I think, trying stuff. Maybe they're trying to assign damage. I'm not sure. Still connected. Okay. Okay, let's just float, because we can use this one. It doesn't really make a difference. Unless I think I can get to double the mana count, which I guess maybe I could have. So activate. But I don't... Yeah, I drew an Ornithopter. So yeah, actually I could have. So maybe that was a mistake. Whatever. We're going to play our monitor anyway. Do I want boots, or do I want something else? Just take an additional blocker? I guess? I don't know. Nothing seems particularly important. Drum's somewhat nice as well. Alright. So, let's play this, I guess. The 4th Saga. Activate. So max count. Play Thought Monitor. Wouldn't mind another one. Wouldn't mind a Neoform. It's a good draws here, but I think we're in a fine spot either way, just because I don't know if they can get through all our blockers. Okay. This, I guess. Alright, Blood Fountain, your turn. So now our constructs are massive. Next turn, we can make an additional construct, give it haste with the boots, and potentially just kill our opponent. So it'll be interesting to see how they could ever break through this with like a mono green infect deck. Right, F6, here we go. I think we're just blocking with the 9/9. It's going to take a lot of pump spells to do anything through that. And there are more where that came from, so. I'm blocking. Okay, so how big? The next, they're both going to be 11s. One's going to be a 12/1. Whenever creature you control enters scry, whenever... Okay, sure. Well, we drew Neoform. Okay, well now they're very, very, very dead. Yeah, whatever. Float. Let's get... Doesn't really matter. Short boots. This. So it's 2 here, 3. So we can't do both, but we can still make the construct. Make a construct. Add blue. Green. Neoform. Sack. Get a Crater of Behemoth. Is this lethal? Who knows? It might be. It might be a little bit of damage. A moderate amount. Attack you. So they're taking 19, 35, 47, I think. They can block one of it. They can take 46. Alright, negative 27. Nice. Not bad. Alright, so we're against, like... just green infect. I guess maybe they have the, what's the new infect? Okay. Opponent just concedes. Alright, let's record another one, maybe. That was kind of the worst, but you got to see the deck doing its thing, so. I'll try to get another one against a faster opponent. Alright. New opponent. Let's go first. I think we're keeping this. We just want to high roll a fatty. Even like faithless looting, discarding a thought monitor isn't that bad. I think I am going to just jam the looting, but maybe it's better to wait. The problem is if I don't jam it, then I can't turn to persist. So I think I'm supposed to just jam, hope to flip an Archon. Even if I hit a Crater Hoof, I might just make a 4/4. I guess it'll be, what? It'll be a 6/6, and then this will... So I'll attack for 9 on turn 2. If I do hit the Crater Hoof, which isn't bad. Opponent mulligans. But yeah, this hand might be a good example of why you shouldn't play a deck like this, because... you know, if I miss, it's somewhat awkward to not just like have this looting be just an artifact for my affinity count. Okay, sweet. So I will just discard this, and then do I need Glimmer Void? If I discard Cookbook, I guess if I don't discard Cookbook, I want to have a discard outlet. We're gonna discard Glimmer Void, and I'm just gonna cast the Pestermite. Sorry. Memnite, not Pestermite. Card would be much better if it was 0 mana than 3 mana. But yeah, like, this is not the most exciting thing to do. It's just like turn 2, 1/1, draw 2 cards. But I mean, that's a pretty busted Magic card. Obviously, I needed diluting to set it up, but when you don't have Archon or Crater Hoof, I think this is relatively acceptable. Also, you can just use this to get back like whatever random idiots. 2 mana 3/3 is not great, but you know, it's an artifact. You can get Neoformed. Botanical Sanctum. I have no idea what that means. Alright, I think it's pretty straightforward. We're just gonna do this. I could what's the other line? The other line is Cookbook, discard this. I'm not gonna be greedy. I think I'm just gonna develop my board. And then just work towards the Urza Saga plan. This puts an artifact in play, draws me more cards. Ooh, nice. Okay. Well, that's an Archonic Cruelty. And we got the Mana Confluence to cast it. Don't know what my opponent's playing. Hopefully not some boring Cascade deck. But what is Botanical Sanctum? I don't even know what deck would play this. I'm not sure. Or another creature control leaves the battlefield without dying. Okay. I have no idea what they're doing with this. Maybe there's some like infinite combo. There probably is. I would bet money there's a way to go infinite with this thing. Target creature, yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see what it is. I assume there's some way to just like loop a thing. All that being said, we're gonna Archon them, and they're gonna be really sad. So let's play our Cookbook. Artifact count can be 4, but that doesn't matter. Beat them up for 1, and then get an Archon. So I recorded a bunch of like these one of like tournament practice room thingies towards the start of the All Access Pass. It's possible that as we get towards the end of it, people are just like done playing. Tournament practice room typically is kind of a joke, but it did feel like I was at least playing against real decks. And I've said it before a million times. I really don't like leagues. Like having to play 5 matches with a deck is so awful. I think like if you just want to practice a deck, that's cool. But if you like for what I want to do, which is just like mess around with different ideas and just sort of talk about them really quick, It's really not ideal. It sucks. Like, leagues would be so much more appealing if they were like 3 rounds, or if you could change your decks in between, all that stuff. But whatever. I mean, this has been fine. It's not ideal, but it's been fine. I'm probably just playing actual frogs. I hope that they have a plan that isn't just to cast frogs, because if they're just playing a standard deck, that's obviously not great. Okay. Oh no, what's going on? Am I not in the right? Am I in like open play or some shit? I know they're not that different, but yeah, okay. Well, is what it is. What do you expect? It's fine. You get to see the deck do the thing. I'm not gonna sweat it too much. Whatever. All right, let's get a Mox Opal. I should have activated this, but who cares? So it's 2. I don't think I need this Dark Steel set at all. We can just pitch it off. Yeah, I definitely should have activated my thingy, but I was just ranting, and we are where we are. All right, this thing, draw 2. Looting. What do I even want to find? So we're at 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I guess I'll just flash back to looting, and sort of turn this looting into maybe another card. Neoform. All right. So we can create it up next turn, and we'll just beat them up for now. They should be very dead. Maybe they have a counter spell or something weird, but. I think I'll probably just call it after this game. Like, I don't really. I think I showed the deck doing its thing. That's cool. You see the idea, you see the plan. Things worked out pretty well. I think I had reasonably good draws. And yeah, it sort of executes on all the things that I wanted it to, right? Where, like, maybe your opponent has Meltdown, but if you have a way to discard an Archon and reanimate it, then they get blown out. If your opponent boards in Graveyard Hate, you can just do the Affinity thing and have Neoform. Yeah, opponent just leaves. All right, whatever. It's fine. That's the deck. I think it's sweet. You know, maybe give it a try. Maybe play it at your F&M or something if you're just looking for a bullshit deck to have fun with. I assume that just playing like regular Affinity with some of like the good free counter spells is the correct route to take. But maybe there's something to the Neoform stuff. And yeah, you can still put, like, if you have turn 1 Blood Fountain plus Mox Opal, you can turn 2 Persist. Also, you can Cookbook into Persist if you have Archon. So, deck's interesting. I think there's something there's something here. There's a lot of power in it, but I don't know if it's actually worth barking up this tree. Maybe you're just too vulnerable to hate, or things fall apart when you get Thoughtseize. But whatever. Not the perfect video. I'm just going to ship it out anyway. I think it showed what the deck's plan was, and I think it executed on it well. Not the most competitive matches, but it is what it is. I'm not going to just keep recording with this stuff all day. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you play this at your F&M. Let me know how it goes. And take care. Also, I keep coming close to being like, this deck might be budget friendly, and then I remember Mox Opals are like $200. So, that's not true. But if you have a friend with Mox Opals, give it a go. All right, take care. All right, so past me lied to you. I'm going to try using the replay tool. I played a random match with this deck. I've never used this before, but let's just give it a go. So, we were playing against Storm. I keep this hand. It needs a discard outlet, but it has Urza Saga and Mox Opal and Metalcraft, so I think it's fine to keep it. So yeah, we just play out our hand, and then we get to boots our Memnite, attack for 2. Just see a Foothills. I don't really know what they're playing yet. And then that sort of gives it away. So opponent kept the 1-lander, I think. So we get our Saga going, attack for 2. Opponent uses their Treasure to Manamorphose. I assume they're just trying to find another land, another Manamorphose. Another Manamorphose. There's the land. So Ruby Row. So I kind of figure I'm dead here, but still making game actions. Use the Saga, make a 7/7, can attack into the 1/3, but next turn we can tutor up a cookbook and do this. So they start doing stuff, impulse, impulse. Hit a questing druid, extra ruby medallions. And then I think, what, at their end step, they seek the beast? Okay, so now we actually have them dead, which it might not look like it, but we already have the boots. So we get a cookbook, use cookbook, discard Archon, persist Archon, edict here, take the damage or whatever. I mean, they're dead either way, but we also have haste on the extra 10/10, so we could do a ton of damage. And yeah, that's game one. A nice little turn 4 kill versus Storm. I think there are worlds where my opponent does kill me there, but fortunately they just didn't get enough stuff, and then we just got him with the Persist Archon. Alright, so next game. I just boarded out all of the Reanimator stuff and sort of plan to go in on the Neoform stuff. I keep a really loose hand, but there's a lot of upside. I have an answer for Ruby Medallion, and I just need a 0 or a land, so I have like, what, 6, 7, 23 hits, and I'm on the draw. And even if I, like, it doesn't really matter if I hit land drops, I just need to get mana sources. So eventually we do find a land. Opponent with a pretty mediocre draw. They Soul Partition to keep me off Metalcraft, so now this Mem Knight's going to cost 2. We're still stuck here, but we do have the Spur Boots to sort of set things up. So, sort of a depressing game. I don't think my opponent has any action yet. So Medallion doesn't matter that much. Find another land. There's Boots into Enforcer, and then I'll just blow up the Ruby Medallion. I'm not sure how important that is, but I don't think trying to beat them down with the 3/3 is going to be very good. Opponent finds another land. Guess they only have 1 or 2 surveillance to get. Attacks me with the 1/1. I just don't block because I don't think it really matters, and I don't want them to do like a small grape shot. Notably, Cage does turn off a lot of my stuff. Like, you probably don't actually want to put Cage in your deck, but we get the Thought Monitor. We Neoform it off. Opponent tries to find an answer. They don't, and then we attack them down to -1. So that is a full match with this deck. So yeah, I think at the end of whatever parts of the video, I may have said blah, 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 this is it. But I wanted to just throw this on there because I recorded it anyway, and I wanted to try to use the replay feature. So there it is. Take care. Enjoy. Peace.